In the ancient kingdom of Macedon, a legend was born. His name was Alexander, son of King Philip II and the fiery Queen Olympias. From his first breath in 356 BC, whispers of destiny surrounded him. Some said he was descended from heroes, even from the gods themselves. As a boy, he was restless, brilliant, and possessed a spirit that could not be tamed. His father, a master strategist, saw the spark of greatness and sought the finest mind in the world to shape it. At the age of 13, Alexander became the student of Aristotle, the great philosopher. For 3 years, in the quiet groves of Mysa, Aristotle taught him philosophy, politics, medicine, and science. He instilled in the young prince a love for knowledge and a deep respect for Greek culture. But more than that, Aristotle fueled Alexander's curiosity about the vast, unknown world beyond Greece, a world waiting to be explored, waiting to be understood. While Aristotle trained his mind, Alexander mastered the art of war. He was a natural horseman, famously taming the wild stallion Bucephalus, a horse no one else could ride. This act became a symbol of his future, conquering the untamable. His father's military campaigns were his classroom, where he learned strategy, leadership, and the harsh realities of battle firsthand. When King Philip was assassinated, Alexander, at just 20 years old, ascended to the throne. His first task was to secure his kingdom, ruthlessly crushing rebellions and proving that his youth was no sign of weakness. With Macedon secure, Alexander turned his gaze east, towards the colossal Persian Empire, the sworn enemy of the Greeks for generations. This wasn't just a campaign for revenge or conquest. It was the start of a vision. A vision to unite the disparate cultures of East and West under a single Hellenistic civilization. He believed he was destined to bridge the continents, to create a new world order. In 334 BC, Alexander led his army of 40,000 Macedonians and Greeks across the Hellespont into Asia. It was an audacious gamble against an empire that stretched from Egypt to India, an empire with seemingly endless resources and manpower. His first major test came at the Granicus River. Outnumbered, he led the cavalry charge himself, plunging headfirst into the enemy ranks. His courage was infectious, his tactics brilliant. The Persians were routed. It was a stunning victory that sent shockwaves through the Persian Empire and announced the arrival of a new power. The path to the heart of Persia was now open. City after city fell before him. Some, like the fortress of Tyre, resisted fiercely, leading to a brutal 7-month siege. But Alexander's ingenuity and relentless determination always found a way. He built a causeway to the island city, a feat of engineering considered impossible. His message was clear: resistance was futile. Then came the moment that would define his legacy: the Battle of Gaugamela. The Persian king, Darius III, had gathered a massive army, said to number in the hundreds of thousands, on a vast, flat plain. It was a force designed to overwhelm Alexander's smaller, veteran army. The fate of empires hung in the balance. As the sun rose on that fateful day, the world held its breath. Darius's plan was simple: use his superior numbers and scythe chariots to envelop and crush the Macedonian phalanx. But Alexander was a master of the unexpected. He advanced with his army at an angle, baiting the Persian cavalry to extend their lines. This created a gap, a momentary weakness in the Persian center. It was the opening he had been waiting for. Seizing the moment, Alexander led his elite companion cavalry in a decisive, thunderous charge straight for Darius himself. Panic ripped through the Persian lines. Darius, seeing the fearless Macedonian king cutting a path directly towards him, lost his nerve and fled the battlefield. His flight shattered the morale of his army, and the great Persian force dissolved into chaos. The victory was absolute. With Darius gone, the Persian Empire was his. Alexander marched into Babylon, not as a destructive conqueror, but as a liberator. He respected local customs and religions, a strategic move that won him the loyalty of his new subjects. He was no longer just the king of Macedon. he was the king of Asia. His journey continued, driven by an insatiable desire to reach the ends of the known world. In Egypt, he was hailed as a pharaoh, a living god. It was here, on the coast of the Mediterranean, that he founded the first and most famous of his many cities, Alexandria. He envisioned it as a great hub of learning, trade, and culture melting pot where Greek and Egyptian ideas could merge. The Great Library and the Lighthouse of Alexandria would later become wonders of the ancient world, testaments to his grand vision. But Alexander's ambition was a fire that could not be quenched. He pushed his army further east, across deserts and over mountains, into lands no Greek had ever seen. They marched into modern-day Afghanistan and Pakistan, facing fierce resistance from local tribes. He fought in strange, new environments against warriors who used elephants in battle. His men were weary, homesick, and stretched to their limits. They had followed him across the world, but their will was beginning to break. In India, after a hard-won victory at the Battle of the Hydaspes, his exhausted army finally refused to go further. They had reached the edge of their world and longed for home. For the first time, Alexander had to bend to the will of his men. Reluctantly, he agreed to turn back. It was a bitter moment for a man who believed nothing was impossible. The return journey was a disaster. One part of his army sailed down the Indus River, while Alexander led the other through the treacherous Jedrosian Desert. Thousands perished from heat, thirst, and starvation. It was a harrowing ordeal that tested his leadership and his bond with his soldiers. Finally returning to Babylon, Alexander began the monumental task of organizing his vast, multicultural empire. He encouraged his soldiers to marry Persian women, himself taking a Persian princess as a wife, in a grand ceremony known as the Susa weddings. He wanted to fuse the two cultures to create a new ruling class of mixed heritage. He integrated Persian soldiers into his army and adopted some Persian customs, a move that alienated many of his loyal Macedonian veterans. They saw it as a betrayal of their traditions, a sign that their king was becoming more Eastern than Greek. The cost of his greatness was becoming clear. It created a gulf between him and the very men who had helped him achieve it. But his grand project would never be completed. In 323 BC, in the palace of Nebuchadnezzar II in Babylon, Alexander fell ill after a prolonged banquet. For 10 days, a fever raged through his body, and the unconquerable conqueror grew weaker and weaker. As he lay dying, his generals asked him to whom he would leave his empire. His final words were whispered, "To the strongest." Alexander the Great died at the age of 32, his life's work unfinished. His death plunged his empire into chaos. His generals, the Diadochi, tore his vast domain apart, fighting each other for power for decades. The unity he had fought so hard to create was shattered. Yet, Alexander's legacy endured. He had spread Greek language, culture, and ideas across the known world, initiating the Hellenistic Age, a period of unprecedented cultural exchange that would last for centuries and lay the groundwork for the Roman Empire. His cities, especially Alexandria and Egypt, became vibrant centers of innovation and learning that shaped the future of Western civilization. He remains one of history's most fascinating and controversial figures, a military genius, a visionary leader, a ruthless conqueror, and a man who believed he was an instrument of destiny. He redrew the map of the ancient world, and in just 13 short years, forged an empire that stretched from Greece to India, forever changing the course of history. The story of Alexander is a timeless epic of ambition, glory, and the profound cost of greatness. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into the past, please like, share, and subscribe for more stories from history.